What is up, everyone? Tay here from History Behind the Horror, and welcome back to Dead Space. Before we start this video, I'd like to thank everyone who gave all the requests to come back to the Dead Space series. I know we've been gone from this series for a really long time, and I was actually happy to know that you guys really like the Dead Space videos that I put out in the past, and you would like to see more. So for tonight's video, we will be talking about the Infector. Remember, if you guys do enjoy this video by the end of it and you would like to see more Dead Space videos on this channel more often than it has been in the past, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, share the video, and hit the bell notification so you know when a new video is released, and put in the comments for what necromorph you would like to see next. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight, and I hope you all enjoy the video. The Infector is a unique necromorph encountered in Dead Space and Dead Space 2. The Infector's sole purpose is to spread the necromorph contagion, thus creating more necromorphs to spread the infection. Formed from a human torso and legs, its wings are formed by a flap of skin from the chest and then fused between the former host's bent and broken legs. The jaw collapses within the body and the rest of the head breaks and twists into feelers, with the spine providing support and attachment points for movement. The feelers, which is made from mutated bone, muscle, and spinal tissue, is the delivery mechanism used to infect potential hosts. This is done by enveloping the host in its wings, extending the feelers from the spinal cavity, and then stabbing it into the skull to inject a yellow fluid stored in the internal bladder. In any room with the remains of crew members, these are the beasts that should be taken down quickly before you get overrun with newly created necromorphs. They seem to have a preference for corpses which have existing head wounds, possibly because this spares them having to crack the skull themselves. The Infector in the morgue goes straight for the captain, with his eye to brain needle puncture over any of the other corpses, and Callous Mercer is seen to have prepared corpses for them by boring a hole in the center of their foreheads. These corpses seem to be most noticeable in the crew quarters on the Ishimura. Dr. Mercer can also be seen killing Acting Chief Engineer Temple this way. Infectors in Dead Space produce enhanced slashers, unless the corpse being infected is that of a Marine, in which case the corpse will mutate into a Twitcher, while in Dead Space 2, enhanced form of the Effectors will make enhanced slashers, and regular Infectors will make regular slashers. It is implied that the Infector also creates the other single body types of necromorphs in the game, although only the creation of slashers and Twitchers are witnessed in-game. Enhanced Infectors are a very rare sight in Dead Space 2, appearing only twice throughout the sprawl. They appear as slightly darker Infectors. Day 3 of quarantine for the former Dr. Clifton and Hogan. The infection is spreading quickly through Dr. Clifton. Dr. Hogan appears unaffected at this time. The chest of the corpse has started to expand, like it's taking a deep breath. Something appears to be happening under the surface of the skin. The body is convulsing. A yellowish liquid bursts from the mouth, accompanied by choking noises. There's a crunching noise as the throat bulges and the jaw collapses. The head is splitting apart, reforming now into what appears to be feelers. The chest splits along the centrae now as the flesh stretches and expands outwards. The organs, bone and muscle, bend inwards. The internal organs contort and reorganize themselves into an odd structure central to which is a massive bladder. The bladder is filling with liquid, some of which can be seen spilling from the feelers. I can only assume the two are connected. The legs are quivering as the flesh peels away and meshes with the flesh from the chest region. There's a sudden snap halfway through the process as one leg bends backwards. More quivering now, and the other leg snaps at the knee. The changes appear to be slowing now. It starts to sit up. The body is convulsing, the legs flopping. It is trying to take its first step. Uneasy at first, but now it's adapting quickly. Half a dozen steps, and it seems to be perfectly at home with its new contorted form. The splattering on the glass is making observation difficult. It appears that Dr. Hogan's legs are bending, somehow flailing themselves, and now twisting with a mixture of its own internal organs into a single appendage, like some sort of tail. His face is contorted, his jaw clenching and unclenching. Several jaw-like appendages are emerging from his ever-widening mouth. His mouth no longer appears to be able to accommodate the change. His head is splitting, seams bursting, and almost instantly, he's perched on his hands, shifting his weight from one palm to the other. He's pacing, circling the room, and he appears to be watching me. He sees me. No, he's fixated on the ceiling now. Oh God, no. He's leaving at the vent. With his powerful tail-like appendage, he's striking at the reinforced covering, trying to get it open. I must warn the others. In the movie Dead Space Downfall, the infestation of the Ishimura was due to an infector slipping onto the shuttle when a miner boards with the corpse of his wife, who manages to crash it into the Ishimura docks past the closing bay doors. Unlike infectors portrayed in the game that always crawl over the floor, with the only instance of an infector seen flying is when dragging a dead body towards it, or the infector that kills Callus Mercer, the movie's infector rely on flying as their primary means of transportation. The infectors in the movie also directly transfer the infectious vector into the corpse through their feelers, while infectors in the game use an appendage to draw the corpses to them before affecting the victim, transforming it into an enhanced slasher. Isaac seems to harbor a certain distaste for infectors, as he shakes his head in disgust briefly before ripping off their feelers during successful grapple breaks. Several logs in Dead Space allude to those infected as aspirating a yellowish bile from their mouths as one of the first signs of transformation into an infector. An assumed corpse of a medical officer in the imaging diagnostics lab of the medical deck vomits yellowish bile during Chapter 2. The body is gone later too, hinting that it has transformed into an infector. The yellowish bile comes out of an infector like blood from other necromorphs, though blood may be present as well. The transformation of a corpse into an infector was briefly shown in the 5th issue of the Dead Space comics, where Abraham Newman saw the transformation firsthand of Commander James, who began to infect the other corpses in the HQ room. According to the Dead Space book, the Infector is the first necromorph known to be created. It was made by a scientist who created an organic specimen from a DNA code that was retrieved from the Black Marker. In a mix of lack of sleep, hallucinations, visions, and insanity, the scientist accidentally injected the organism into his arm. The scientist's transformation happens starting from his arm and moving towards the rest of his body as he travels towards the Black Marker. He is shot by security but continues forward, showing that even a small amount of necromorph DNA can give high pain tolerance until he reaches it, where the infection then stops. He is then restrained to a medical table and wheeled away, and the infection starts again. His bones and other body parts start deconstructing and reconstructing underneath the blanket which was put over him, and is ignored by his fellow scientists. This is ignored until he emerges as an infector during a video call. In Dead Space and Dead Space 2, if no corpses are around in the area, an infector will behave like a regular necromorph and attack the player. There are only 2 enhanced infectors in the whole series, encountered in Dead Space 2 in Chapter 14, Marker Access, and A New Threat. When Isaac leaves an elevator shortly before the game's final Zero-G chamber, 2 enhanced infectors can be seen transforming the corpses of scientists in the next room into enhanced slashers, who promptly engages Isaac as he attempts to blow the fuse to leave the area. The Ubermorph also joins the fray at this point, so escaping is made much more difficult to manage if the player's maneuverability is poor and or if the game's difficulty is set too high. If Isaac fails to kill an infector that has latched onto him, the creature impales him through the forehead. It then uses it to stab Isaac's neck 3 times, with the 3rd stab completely decapitating him. And that yet ends another episode of History Behind the Horror. If you enjoyed yourself tonight and you would like to see more Dead Space on this channel very soon, make sure you remember to leave a like on this video, share it, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because we got things coming up soon that I'm sure you wouldn't want to miss. And also hit the bell so you always stay up to date when a new video is released. And make sure you guys go to the comment section and let me know what other necromorph or any other horror entity you would like to see next. With that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight, and as always, I will see you on another episode of History Behind the Horror.